A pleasant good morning to everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Make sure you please like and subscribe and hit the notification button for each and every Saturday. Coming up on today's show, the guest menu looks like this. Of course, our regular guests, and we say guests, but our regular guys, Charles Edmond, Coach Vann Pettaway, A.D. Willa Brown, Morgan Williams, Vincent Paige, and Chris Garcia. Both Vincent and Chris Garcia are Southern University football signees. We'll talk with them in hour number 2. Here's simply what's trending. Southern University baseball season comes to an end. And I'll have some just pointed comments about just what I feel, my opinion on this overall Southern University baseball season. Also, we'll have a live update with our colleague, A.D. Drew. SWAC 2024 baseball tournament championship is down to the Final Four championship game tomorrow. Talk to A.D. before the show. The tarp is on the field. And the game won't start on time at 12 noon. Also, the NBA playoffs heat up, and they really have been heating up. They're down to the Final Four. At stake, NBA championship. Who will it be? And the NCAA settles their antitrust case. Huge implications. And what I would like to do is we'll talk a little bit about it. But next week, we'll dive into what does it really mean for college athletics? And, of course, how does it trickle down to schools like institutions that are in the conference, the SWAC, the smaller schools, the haves and have-nots? And, of course, the have-nots will be footing the majority of this bill. Unbelievable. Now for the panel, as they come in one by one. And also we want to thank our producer, Melody, today. There's Charles, Willa Brown, and Coach Pettaway, who will be with us for the first hour. Good morning, gentlemen, and good afternoon to Wheeler.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, well, I always have to say good afternoon because Wheeler's in that Eastern Standard Time. Well, I'll start off the show. Southern baseball 0-2, and I'm not surprised. Just some quick thoughts, and you guys can chime in. This team was very consistent of being inconsistent, up and down, highs and lows. Example: LSU win. Swept by Texas Southern, lost to UAPB in a series, defeated Grambling State. This baseball program right now, and this is just my opinion, has become mediocre. Coach Crenshaw had a championship early on in his tenure, but since then it has really been tough. So, Coach Crenshaw and their staff, in my opinion, they'll have to meet some benchmarks next year. I've heard from members of the Jaguar Nation, very disappointed. I am as well. Pitching needs to be addressed, but we also can say that about a majority of the programs in the conference. In the end, a very disappointing season. That is my commentary. Charles, your thoughts?
I have 3 words, Carlos, right off the bat. You called it. You've been saying all year long that this team has been a roller coaster ride. They look great sometimes and they look a mess other times. And I guess if there's a disappointment there, I'm in that category because I thought the LSU win would be a good foundation for what's to come. And unfortunately, nothing did come after that. They lost the UAPB series. The Braves won that final game of the season at Southern 13-11. So, yeah, this team was inconsistent, and this team was one of the first 2 teams to get knocked out of the tournament. And, when you looked at Crenshaw's first season. Know where you go from here. Pitching is at a premium. We've talked about it with a number of people. Coach Cador's talked about it. Williams has talked about it. And Southern's got to address that like other teams do. But where you go from here, I don't know. I am going to say this, Carlos. It's going to get tougher. And you text me this information. Starting next year, we're doing away with baseball divisions. Baseball divisions will go away next year. You're going to the top 8 teams in the standings. So you're going to play teams from the East, not all of them. The top 8 teams overall will go to the tournament. So now you're going to be playing teams from the East that are really good, like Florida A&M, like Bethune-Cookman. That's going to make a difference. So it's not going to get any easier for these teams that are kind of mediocre. It's going to get tougher. And so I think right now, you have to address your baseball program if you're kind of under it. And I think that's where Southern is right now. It's not going to get any easier, but this was a disappointing year. I thought the LSU win was a good foundation, but they couldn't build on it, and they just fizzled at the end.
Wheeler, you
right now, Carlos. The only thing. No, hey Carlos. The only thing I would say, you mentioned the loss to Texas Southern. To me, that's not a bad loss when they're the number 1 team in the division. From a fan's aspect, yeah, as a Jaguar, you want them to win the game, but to lose to the number 1 seed, that's not a big thing. But you look at the overall picture. Yeah, the overall picture, yes, you all are disappointed. You're disappointed in the season, but there's only going to be one happy fan base anyway. Come Sunday, there's only going to be one happy fan base.
Well,
I think
Texas Southern fan base not happy
for you guys. I think he's done a good job for you guys, Carlos. I don't believe there's cause to, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, naturally, there's probably some things that need to be worked on, that need to be addressed, as all programs have, and hopefully, now that the season's over with, Crenshaw and his crew, along with the AD, everybody can sit down and see, what the shortcomings were this past year, that sort of thing, and, how we're going to look at things to fix things moving forward. But you guys are always in the conversation. Sure, you're a little down because you didn't get over the hump. But look at all the other schools that are not even in the conversation at all. They never get a whisper. So that's gotta count for something. And if I'm Crenshaw, he can't afford to listen to the boo birds. He's got to go about, fixing whatever needs to be fixed. And Banks needs to continue to, back him if he's doing a good job. We're all on the outside looking in, so we're not privy to anything underneath the covers. But from on top of the covers, break here, there, they're still playing. So that's just my take on it.
Well, I will say that I just think, Carlos, when you look at the blue bloods of HBCU baseball, Southern University is right there. All the championships that have been won in the SWAC, and Southern is used to, the Jaguar Nation is used to in baseball being near the top. They're not used to being the 4 seed in the Western Division. And so I think when you look at the program where it was a few years ago compared to where it is right now, and again, it's not going to get any easier with the elimination of these divisions. You can't run and hide. Now, you're not going to play everybody. You're going to play either Alabama State or A&M or Florida A&M or Bethune-Cookman going forward, but it's not going to get any easier. So I'm not saying you should tear it down, because in SWAC baseball, that's a very difficult thing to do. It's very difficult to build it up. Just look at our coach and Reggie Williams and how tough it has been. But so you got to take stock at where you are right now. What do you need to do to improve? Another coach, more arms? I don't know, but you can't. I agree that you can't tear it down, but you got to take a hard, deep, painful look at where you are. How close are you to the middle? How close are you to being one of the top tier teams? Because Southern has been that. So for Roman Banks, it's another decision. I'm not saying he's going to get rid of any Crenshaw or anybody, but something has to be done, because this Jaguar team, Carlos, I think you would agree, is underachieved.
And we can all put it this way: I'm not the AD. If I was the AD, yeah, we'll have a end of the year session, and I'm coming in there and I'm expressing I'm disappointed. Yeah, what do you need? How can I help? But also, it will be known in that meeting that there will have to be some benchmarks met for next year. And if they're not, then we may have to look at a different direction. It's good. He came in, and I think somebody, Johnny, said you came in, you handed the program over with a Bentley. Now it's a Corolla.
Corolla.
And I think you have to look at it each and every year, and it's more disappointing. And even if you look at the overall athletic program, some have pointedly told me that it's mediocre overall. From advertising, from A to Z. And when apathy sets in, that's a dangerous situation. And not saying it is at that point, but you talk about the Blue Bloods, and SWAC wins another championship. That's what Southern stands for. But championships have been far and far from in between. All I can think of now is bowling. They got in the championship, man, and last time I looked at the Commissioner's Cup, Southern's in fourth place. So I think you have to take a good, hard, deep look at every program across the board. Now, Coach Graves is coming in, a new coach. So I kind of exclude him from this and that staff. But overall, you pride yourself in being, a blue blood, HBCU blue blood. But right now, the blood is not blue. It has changed colors somewhat. And
Carlos,
so
you talk about me being bad.
well, no, I mean, yeah, you're the hard line.
You just got to realize everybody's not standing still. They're not going to stand still
No,
and let Southern just run all over everybody, that sort of thing. I mean, people are playing catch up the best that they can. Not saying that Southern is standing still, but when you're up there and you're used to being up there, I guess people are going to take little pot shots at you and all that sort of thing. But, I mean, I just, we fix what's broken, and, we kind of keep it moving from there. And, but I mean, you let the coach know if you're not pleased with this past season, no doubt about that. You want his honest opinion in terms of what went wrong and what he plans on doing for next year in order to get the ship back right, that sort of thing. And, you also, like you said, asking him, what can I do to help facilitate, what it is that we need to do. And, we all get on the same page. But, I don't think you give him a championship or bust mandate, or anything like that. Just certain things that you're looking for to improve upon. And, we're looking for those things come the next year. But, I mean, we got to understand, Carlos, everybody's improving. People are getting good coaches. Some of the programs are, adding more money to the programs, that sort of thing. And so, where Southern probably had an advantage in terms of whooping everybody and stepping on everybody now, it's a little tougher now. It's a little tougher now. And some of those games that were gimmies, they're no longer gimmies. They got to work hard for that sort of thing. And so, When you're up there, people gonna take shots at you. But I think overall Crenshaw has done a good job for you guys. We just need to continue to support him and help him any way we can in terms of him reaching that level where we want it to be.
I got a
Um,
lot. I got a lot more to say about that, but I don't want
Obviously,
to. I don't
obviously.
want to dominate the time, but I'll just say that much is given, much is expected. And one of the toughest things, Charles and Coach Pettaway, when you've had success, sometimes it's harder to maintain success than
Right.
you're coming from the bottom, or and trying to get to the top. And being mediocre, that's just as bad as being in the bottom. Here's my point. Because sometimes you're satisfied when you're mediocre. You're not going backwards, but you're not going forward. So,
Carlos, did he
again,
win he won the championship his first year, right? He won the championship his first year. Kiss of death.
Because I was about to say, you're going to tell me that's good enough? No.
Kiss of death. Kiss of death, Carlos.
See, right now the problem is expectations. See, you all expect your baseball program to be there every year. It's expectations, man. You have to be careful with that. You have to be careful with that.
On that note,
Southern has been spoiled, for decades. When you go to Kerrick Jackson, you go to Roger Cador. I mean, it's just the expectations. And I compare to where Southern baseball is right now to the NBA's Western Conference. The West is only going to continue to get stacked and loaded. And so if you're the LA Lakers, you can't just be sitting back and hire any kind of coach. You gotta upgrade and you got to get better. And I think taking these divisions away and having the top 8 teams in the standings across the board, 1 through 8, there's nowhere to run and hide. Bethune-Cookman's going to be good. Florida A&M's going to be good. Jackson's going to be up there. Alabama State's going to be up there. And then, of course, Texas. I mean, so, in the West, you could kind of hide a little bit because probably the top 4 teams, us and Pine Bluff. But now that you've convoluted this thing with no more East and West, there's no hiding. So I think you'll get a clear picture in terms of where your baseball program is in totality going forward by eliminating these divisions. So Southern's got to, there's got to be a little step up because for me, I love, good baseball and Southern's been that. But this year wasn't that. And I thought maybe they turned the corner. They didn't. But now we're going to see going forward how good these things are going to be in terms of how good this program's going to be, especially with the elimination of the divisions.
Well, we'll go to our first time out. But as I think Janet Jackson had this song called "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" That's kind of what I think, and it shouldn't be where you have to hide. The best 8 teams, and what it tells us right now is that the last year of divisional play, the East is mightily strong. Texas Southern, they went out. Prairie View went out quickly, and once again, look at the scoring. It's been exciting, as Dr. Cavill stated. But I look at all the high scores and the blowouts, and I'm just going to be honest, and I know people are going to disagree with me on this. The SWAC 2024 champion, when they come out, it's going to be rough no matter what regional they get into. Quality and quantity. Pitching. Hold that thought. When we come back, we're scheduled to join A.D. Drew from Atlanta. SWAC baseball tournament action. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em. It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm.
Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up message quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. As we transition to our talk with our colleague, A.D. Drew, on Black College Sports Wrap here on the Black College Sports Network. When you look at Southern University, scores were like this. 8-5, they lost to FAMU, a good accounting of themselves. Was right there in that ball game. Then they gave up a home run, a 2-run homer, and they lose 8-5. And then 11-8, the Jaguars lost to Alabama State. Thus, their season is over. And welcome, A.D. Drew. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I'm doing a little fine, A.D. I guess I'm feeling a little smarty pants here with the Jaguars, and we talked.
And I got a comment on that too.
I understand, and I'll let you give that comment. But right now, as we speak, you told me before the show that they had some rain in the Atlanta area. Tarp was on the field. 12 p.m. The game will not start on time, will it? The first game?
The game should have started 25 minutes ago, 26 minutes ago. The tarp has been removed. The grounds crew is out here working on the field. We have a estimated 1 o'clock Eastern time start now, so we'll have a 1 hour delay for game 1 today. And obviously that will affect game 2. So rain came through the area maybe about 11 o'clock. I got to the stadium right when I had planned on getting here just before noon, and the tarp was on the field when I got here. But once again, the tarp has been removed. They're actually lining the field right now.
Since some of that rain here, AD, because it's going to be 96 degrees here today, and,
wow,
and no rain, and that's just May.
Yeah, and speaking of the rain, we had a rain delay in the 12 o'clock game yesterday. We had like a 37-minute delay, something like that, 40-minute delay. And there is rain in the forecast all day today. With these if games today, rain may play a factor, if not today, into tomorrow, because the one thing you don't want to do is have somebody start pitching. You get an extensive delay. Now that pitcher is burned, and then you have to come back. There's already going to be a bullpen session, everybody, today, so let's be real. So to wind up using an extra pitcher in a bullpen session, if you get an extended rain delay, something beyond one of those long innings, as I call it, because we've all seen those 35, 40. Hell, we had an inning that lasted about an hour and 2 minutes when Jackson State put up all those runs in the seventh inning a couple of days ago. So we've seen those, but
not surprised.
Yeah. So not only would that affect today if we get any further delays, but it could go into tomorrow, because pitchers you may have had available for tomorrow may have to get used today if weather becomes a factor. And if you have multiple start-stops and these games get pushed back later into the evening, with that game being set because it's on ESPN family of networks tomorrow, will the team who comes out the late game tomorrow be affected because of the shortened rest time? Because right now they were expected to be out of the stadium no later than 7 o'clock. What happens if rain pushes back and they don't get out of here? We don't get out here to 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight, and then they have to do that turnaround. It's almost like being in the going from the winners bracket to the elimination bracket and having the 9 o'clock game the next day. That's almost the effect that you will have tomorrow. So,
well, good thing they're 18 to 22-year-olds and they're young. Maybe the recovery time will help them out, but hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate.
Yeah,
with
sky is still overcast, but the sun is trying to peep through the clouds right now. Hopefully, whatever was coming into the area is gone. There is some stuff on the radar, but this is Atlanta. Stuff blows around town. It'll rain in one part of this city and it'll be bright and sunny in the other part of the city. But I got to get back to y'all comment. I heard segment 1 when y'all were talking about Southern baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to talk to the Southern fans for a moment. I'm gonna probably get in trouble, Carlos. So if you have, if you
this is the place to get trouble.
if you ban me for the show, I understand.
No, because John Lewis, rest his soul, said there's trouble and there's good trouble. This is good trouble. This is good trouble.
Southern Jaguar fan. Kerry Jackson is not walking back in that door. Roger Cador is not walking back in that door into that dugout in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You have got to evolve. You have got to change. Southern has kind of been like the New York Yankees of SWAC baseball. And Yankee fans, when it comes to baseball, have unrealistic expectations. And what I mean by that, they expect a championship every year. And their history has proven it. 27, 28 championships for the Yankees?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got what I would equate to the St. Louis Cardinals, who are the second winningest team, and that would probably be Jackson State if you're talking about SWAC baseball. So so I just want Southern fans to understand this is a different day, this is a different age, this is a different time with NIL and the transfer portal. Getting those next line of prospects that couldn't go to an LSU or Mississippi State that Southern used to get, those days are over, because even if you get them, they're only going to be there for 1 year, 2 years maybe. And then they're going to try to go somewhere else so they can improve their draft style. So, everybody just has to be realistic about what they're expecting from Southern baseball. Look, Southern, both games in the ninth inning, had either the game time or the game winning run at the plate or on deck. That's what you want. That's what you expect in a championship type atmosphere. You want an opportunity to win it when it comes down to the end. So Southern fans, take what you can get. Yeah, y'all were inconsistent, but the one thing I said, if you go back to Sunday's BCSN Sports Wrap, I was afraid that we were going to get LSU Southern. And when I say we, FAMU, and we got LSU Southern. And we got average FAMU, which is why that game was closer than a lot of people thought it was going to be. And they gave FAMU a scare. And until the 8th inning, I thought we were going to the elimination bracket. So be happy, Southern.
I don't know, AD. I understand what you're saying, and the baseball program is not what it used to be.
No,
but they
the
have
Yankees
won.
What they were. The Yankees aren't what they were in the 50s either. So
but they're in first place. They're in first place right now this year, right? if I'm not mistaken. And then also, with Crenshaw, they won the first year, but now it makes me think he won. Did he win with Kerry Jackson's talent? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
The bottom line is, expectations are still high, and I don't know if anybody on this show called for someone to be let go. I know I didn't say that, but I just said that there has to be a hard, crucial look into the baseball program, and right now they're mediocre. And sometimes the worst thing and the best thing, when you won a championship that first year, that bar's been set. So now it sometimes it's hard to stay at the top, but you have to always evolve. So they a good accounting in the SWAC baseball tournament, but overall, I still stand by my statement. They've been consistently inconsistent.
I would give you that one.
And that is where that. Now, with that being said, AD, the Eastern Division, no discussion. That's where the best baseball has been played
over the last 3 years. And over the last 3 years.
And you see that now. So with that being said, the two games that today, FAMU, elimination game, Grambling State fought back from elimination. Set the scene for us today.
First of all, you had 3 teams in the West who all had 18 victories. What separated the seeding was the losses because of the number of games each team played. And Grambling wound up the 3rd seed. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But who's in the Final Four? Who's the only team from the West? All of them had 18 wins, so maybe Grambling was a 1 seed disguised as a 3 seed. Because Grambling, thus far, of the 4 teams out of the West, has looked the best. And the results have proven themselves out on the field. Yeah, FAMU ruled them the other day, but they can. And give Grambling credit. They went with a different strategy than everyone else in this tournament. They saved their ace. They saved their ace for this second FAMU game. The results were proven on the field, and they neutralized the Florida A&M Rattler bats yesterday. FAMU was struggling, did not have a hit through the first 3 innings, and finally got a hit in the 4th inning. And the key to beating FAMU, if you can neutralize Ty Jackson, you can slow down the FAMU offense because he's the catalyst. Because they're 1 through 4 at FAMU. When Ty Jackson gets on, that 2, 3, and 4, and down to that 5 from FAMU really does some damage. If Ty Jackson is not on base, or Niles is not on base, then who's the number 9 hitter? Then you can neutralize FAMU. Now the question is, does Grambling have enough arms today to do it again? Because I don't know who the starting pitchers are going to be, but I'm assuming that FAMU, since this is their 4th game, will probably have a midweek starter available for this game today. Whereas Grambling, I'm expecting a bullpen session. Same thing in the other game with Bethune and Jackson State. Jackson State should have a midweek starter available, but Bethune when I talked to Coach Hernandez on yesterday, and Coach Hernandez was like, if we get to today, we're going to be fine because he knew he still had arms that had not been used. As of yesterday, he had 6 arms. And this was going into the evening game because I called him walking into the stadium. He said he had at least 6 arms available yesterday going into the evening game. So you have to figure out he's probably got 3 to 4 arms available right now, plus his day 1 and day 2 through very limited pitches on those particular days. I can't remember which one it was, but 1 through in the 50s and 1 through in the 70s. So they will have availability today also. So Bethune, I know has pitching. Have not had bumped into Coach Armor Johnson. You know how their pitching is, but it's going to be interesting. FAMU and Bethune probably have the best pitching available today to advance. And not only that, but if that's the case, those 2 teams, whoever would win the game tomorrow, if those 2 teams match up, would have the best pitching to make some noise in the regionals, one of those 2 teams.
So if I'm looking at this, Charles, Coach Pettaway, Wheeler, and AD, it seems like, well, it doesn't seem like pitching, as AD said, checkmark Bethune-Cookman and FAMU. JSU and Grambling are hitting the cover off the ball. So from my limited baseball knowledge, they say good pitching and defense, or good pitching beats offense. So with that being said, quickly, we got to go to a timeout. Who's in the finals? Who's going to win it? I have an idea who I think will win. But Charles, quickly.
I'm going with FAMU. I always go with the team that's won the championship. I do agree with AD Drew and watching it from my perch. FAMU probably has the most gas left in the pitching category. I would put Bethune-Cookman second, and I think when it comes down to it, I think that's what it'll come down to. So I do think Florida A&M will win it. The thing about Jackson State, though, will Omar Johnson coach today? I heard he was ejected yesterday, and I don't know.
There was a player ejected also yesterday. From what I understand, the rule is the player is gone for today. Coach Johnson can appeal his ejection, and with everybody from the SWAC office here having witnessed the event, that should be a very quick decision one way or the other.
Yeah.
Coach
I got
Pettaway.
FAMU. To answer your question, Carlos, I think I got FAMU coming out. I think they repeat. I think they got enough arms.
Coach Pettaway?
Right. Well, I think, like in everybody's saying, if it's down to pitching, and I think if FAMU's got the best arms, I'm going to pick FAMU.
Wheeler.
I'm going with Jackson State.
Is that because you used to work there?
I got a soft spot in my heart for Omar. And, I know the work that he has put in and continues to put in, that sort of thing. And, not to say that nobody else deserves it, but if anybody in particular deserves it, I believe he does. So I'm going with JSU.
He deserves it, but not this year. maybe next year. I'm going to say I'm going with Bethune-Cookman to win it all, and I've kind of said that to people the last couple of days, and listen to AD's report now. It could be a repeat of last year, the Florida schools in the finals, but I'm going with Bethune-Cookman.
I agree. I agree. I think the 2 Florida schools will be in the finals tomorrow. Keep something in mind, everybody. No matter who wins between FAMU and let me stop right there. FAMU and Jackson State, should they make it to the finals, if one of those teams come out and the other team out the losers bracket comes out, they will have played one less game because of the situation. So that could affect things tomorrow. They would have played one less game than Bethune, than Grambling would have played, which once again would go back to the arm. But throw that aside, I think Bethune has the pitching, and their bats will get hot. Grambling, can you stop the big inning for Grambling? It's the thing with FAMU. I do have the 2 Florida schools coming out today, but and I'm probably gonna lose my alumni card when I pull this. I actually have Bethune beating Florida A&M this year. Should those two match up?
Oh, Brian Fulford is probably
he's on the plane right now, so he won't even know. He won't even know about
it'll
this.
get there.
He lands about 1:30, so he'll get here to the stadium in time for the game. But when he goes back and plays this, so I will probably not be a guest on the ONG strike zone for probably a 6-month ban.
but AD, this is unusual. Normally, and I've covered these baseball tournaments, normally today you got the bracket winners, 1 hour practice, and you play the championship tomorrow. Not only do you go from that to have 2 games today, it's a treat.
But isn't this like the third? I know last year we had 2 games. I'm trying to remember in Birmingham, did we have 2 games on that Saturday also? I know we had at least 1 in Birmingham.
Yeah,
I thought it was 1.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2, but I know we played in Birmingham. I can't remember back to Huntsville if we played on that Saturday in Huntsville or not. Well, Birmingham was unique. We had to play on Saturday in Birmingham, and it was not due to the if games. It was due to weather that we had to play on Saturday in Birmingham.
Right.
And I don't even remember if it was because of the if games or not. I just knew due to weather we had to play on Saturday in Birmingham.
Right.
So this Saturday baseball, I love it because I really did not want to sit around the hotel all day trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And when you get in Atlanta, you can lose your checkbook up in here just finding something to do. There's a jazz fest going on out at Piedmont Park and everything else. And if y'all know anything about Piedmont Park in Atlanta, you know what used to be held out there. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I've heard about it. I've heard about
There's a documentary on Hulu about it.
Well, AD, we appreciate the update, and
I'll try to check back in with you guys at the close of the show if there's anything significant going on here in the baseball game, maybe the last 10 minutes of the show, fellas.
All right. We appreciate the update.
Appreciate y'all.
All right.
All right, AD.
Happy
Peace.
Saturday to everybody.
All right, AD.
Thank you. Well, with that being said, I still stick by Bethune-Cookman and the arms, pitching the arms. Coach Pettaway, if they don't, I'll blame somebody if they don't win it off. Overdue for a timeout. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, Coach Pettaway, let's dive into the NBA playoffs. I have a few things to say about that, and don't poke the bear.
There you go.
Know what that means?
Never.
We'll take a timeout. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
As technology continues to bring changes to the world of education, it's time we also reimagine teacher professional development. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all learning that can only be accessed at a specific time and place. The Stride PD Center is an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that allow educators to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. The best professional development plans are those that include a level of flexibility and choice for educators. Whether you're a teacher, school, or district, visit us today to take charge of your learning.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Coach Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. I see Charles is on the phone. I wonder, Coach Pettaway, who is he talking to? Some NBA executive?
Well, yeah, he's probably
called me for the last 45 minutes asking should we hire JJ Redick. I'm like, Jeannie, if you're gonna hire JJ Redick, go ahead and hire JJ Redick and quit with all the BS that's going on. Just hire the dude. If this is what LeBron wants, even though LeBron claims he has no input on the coach, if this is who you want, go ahead and hire JJ Redick and be done with it. But otherwise, all this other stuff, Sam Cassell and all that, man, please.
Yeah, but I think it's a mistake. I'd rather have Sam Cassell than JJ Redick.
Definitely.
JJ has not, Sam Cassell is proven. He's a proven coach. JJ would be the first one, and all he would be is a yes man for LeBron. You don't need that. I think if they hire JJ, I think it's going to tear up the morale of the team.
And that podcast should go away too, Coach. I think,
right.
All that talk about, that's podcast, which is really good, by the way. But I think as a coach, you can't have that as a possible buffer with your team in the locker room. I just think if he's the coach, the podcast goes away. And you move on. I agree, though. I do think Sam Cassell's probably the right fit. Is JJ Redick the best fit or the right fit? I think Sam Cassell right now for LeBron's career is probably the right fit. A veteran coach has been there, done that. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not because he's going to hold people accountable. And I think as we've seen, that's kind of a struggle to hold some of these megastars accountable. And so I think that's why he probably won't get the gig. JJ Redick probably will because of the other reasons.
Yeah. Right, and then Carlos, to bring it up to today, then you need veterans on your team in that locker room because then you wouldn't have people. You won't have the young guys running out there selling wolf tickets when they don't need to. That brings us up to you asking to guard a guy, and all you doing is you poking the bear. You make the bear mad, and then all he does is slap you upside the head with them claws because you just don't do that, man. You just play the game. I think the young man is going to be a superstar one day in the league, but he's still learning. He's still growing. But that youth is really showing up now because he's not backing up his talk right now. And that's why the Timberwolves, the Timberwolves are struggling right now. And to lose that game last night, to me, there's no coming back from that. Dallas, I don't think Dallas is going to allow them back in it. But Anthony Edwards he's got to do better alone. But it's not just him now. That team has a lot to be desired if they plan on trying to even stay in this thing. Going down 0-2 and then you got to go to Dallas, I think it's over with.
Well, it's interesting, and I value what your expertise, Coach Pettaway, and I was thinking about that. Yeah, you don't poke the bear, a youthful mistake that hopefully he'll learn from it. But also, I was thinking about after the horn went off, the NBA game is about matchups, and here's where I'm going with this. Wouldn't you say Denver is better than Dallas?
Yeah.
And they were able to take care of Denver. But I thought about matchups. For some reason, Minnesota is much bigger than Dallas, but they play that two-man game between Kyrie Irving and the other guy. That's what I call him, the superstar.
Yep.
But I just don't think they. I don't know. Maybe their mindset was after they defeated Denver, they thought it was going to be, easier path, and that's not the case. So sometimes I think about matchups. Excuse me. Dallas matches up. It appears to be much better than Denver did, but Denver was a better team than Dallas. So go figure. Go figure, Coach. Also, we're still in this mindset of who is running the teams. Bickerstaff. Do you think he did a great job at Cleveland?
Wonderful job.
He gets let go.
Mm-hmm.
So Wheeler, shame. But this is the state of sports culture in America. Either way, and do not poke the bear and say 2 years about Southern University and get rid of people after 2 years. No poke the bear, Coach Pettaway. No poke the bear. But in America now, it's been now or it's over. You don't get 4 or 5.
Well, you know why Bickerstaff was let go? The Cavs are trying to keep Donovan Mitchell.
No.
So there's this inner dynamic of, well, if you want me to stay, then we got to make some changes here. Right. And so the head coach is the low hanging fruit. That's all that is.
Bye.
Donovan Mitchell still might walk. He still might walk. So there's no guarantee even by getting rid of Bickerstaff, which I thought it took his team 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. You knew that was what that was about. So I'm not surprised at all that happened. But it really is disappointing, Coach Pettaway and Wheeler Brown. I'm just wondering what type of head coach is a good fit now with these stars running the show, making all this money. What head coach does get the respect? I don't know. I mean, the Lakers situation is one. They don't pay their coach worth anything, so that's an issue number one. Dealing with all these egos, but I'm just. I asked a question here on this show weeks ago. What is a good head coach that gets the respect? Right now, Minnesota's Coach Finch does for right now, but he's got a young team, and if they start smelling themselves, that might change in a hurry. And right now they're down 0-2, so we'll see how that dynamic works. But as a coach, I'm just wondering, what kind of coach do these stars respect that could take it to the next level? Tom Thibodeau, your coach in Miami, Spo. But other than that, I can't name 5 coaches that are, the coach of Denver because he just won a championship, Malone. But his comments after the game, I'm kind of lost and confused when it comes to NBA coaches.
I'm not
right.
confused.
I think right now the players have too much power or influence. Let's just say influence. I'm not going to say power. Yeah. They got too much influence, and I think that's not good for the game. That's not good for the game, and that's why we see so many see all these coaches being fired and let go because of the players and their egos. Now, in the East, Boston is going to win that series, in my opinion, because of injuries. I don't think Indiana is healthy enough to beat Boston in a 7-game series. And this is the first time where the playoffs, injuries have played a significant part in the playoffs this year. New York went down because of injuries. So a lot of times to win a championship, when they talk about luck, they're talking about physical luck. You have to remain injury free in order to win a championship, and that's showing out right now. Right now, Boston's the healthiest team out of the 4 teams that are left. Boston's probably going to win this championship because of that. And I didn't have them winning the championship, but this year, because of injuries, I think they're going to walk away with that championship.
Well, let me ask you this. If Boston does not, and they were talking about this, the national prognosticators, and you remember a couple of weeks ago, I brought up the point, what about Boston's coach? And pretty much everybody was like, no, you're crazy as hell, Carlos. Nothing's going to happen to him. But if, in light of the sports culture, and by the way, to answer your question, Charles, I think players want coaches that are yes men.
Yes men.
Oh yeah.
Agree with them for everything.
Yep.
But again, it goes back to the sports culture. You don't think if Boston doesn't win it, it's going to be some rumblings And I'm not comfortable yet saying that they're going to win it because the biggest opponent for Boston is themselves.
Right.
Once again, I still see that. And they were very lucky to win game one, Coach Pettaway. Very lucky. They love the three. They're infatuated with the three-point shot. When they're not hitting it, they're still in love with it. And I would say Drew Holiday and Derek White are the unsung heroes. And then also, quickly, the national shows were debating Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Who's the best player?
Jaylen
But all
Brown.
of that to say this, I think I would not be surprised if Boston gets rid of their coach in a year or two if they don't get it done. Laugh at me now, but I'm telling you, in light of the sports culture, Willa Brown, right now, I would not be surprised.
You're probably right, Carlos.
I don't think their front office will do that though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that front office has a different mindset because you got to remember now he was the guy that's running their operations was the former coach, the former collegiate coach, one of the great ones out there now. He has a different mindset. He's not looking at it. He knows that the players are the key, not the coach. I think he's gonna hold on to his coach. I really believe that. I don't think they'll let him go. I think they can either slip up this year and he'll still be there.
How long will it get? Because we were talking last week. You get to the door and you never open the door and go in. So 4 or 5 years from now, you're still, and I think maybe I'll address that to Wheeler, because he's the hardliner, but I don't know if he's the hardliner now. But how long, Coach Pettaway and Wheeler and Charles?
I think he's got at least 3 to 4 more years.
Okay.
I don't see 3 or 4. I see 2.
He's knocking on that door. They're giving their best effort. And everybody's doing all they can in order to get through that door. How do you not keep them?
Well, how long you just stayed knocking at that door before you answer the doorbell? That's what I'm saying. No, I understand your point. And
Carlos, you got 30 other teams that aren't even in the neighborhood.
I'm not worried about the other 30 teams. Well, Miami,
they're on the corner somewhere trying to figure out how to get to that house where you are knocking on the door consistently.
What's the formula? A plus B equals C all the time? I mean, the formula's not going to change. When he's a great young coach, I understand that. But, boy, I just worry about him. That's all I'm saying. In this sports culture in America, it's win now, win quickly.
But what's not going to change in Boston is that roster too much, because you got your money tied up in Tatum and Brown and Porzingis. You got your money tied up. So that roster does not have a lot of flexibility. You're talking about trying to find the right coach that's the right fit for those personalities. I don't think anything's going to happen this year. But if they don't win it this, and by the way, I'm just gonna go out. I was gonna say this. I got Indiana winning the series.
Woo.
I think
even with the
Boston.
I get it. Come on, Charles.
I get it.
It'd have been tough even if they wasn't injured.
Hey.
Okay, now here's the thing with me. Like Halliburton, look at the last 2 games. How he has really lost the basketball down the stretch in both games now. So see, when you apply pressure to him, that's tough, man. So now he's injured. I don't see it. I'm saying because of the injuries, they're not gonna make it.
I get it. I understand what you're saying, but I also know that when we talk about tough teams, of the 4 teams that's left, in my humble opinion, Boston is the least toughest team of the 4, and they're up 2-0. They're going to Indy. I think and it's very fortunate that they are up 2-0. The Pacers didn't show up the first quarter in game 2. They had game 1 won. Coaches, I think Rick Carlisle fell asleep at the switch. Had a timeout, could have advanced the ball, a bad turnover. I think they'll go to Indianapolis and take 2. And then we're going to see despite the injuries, I have the Pacers somehow, and if I'm wrong, this is my opinion. I think the Pacers are going to win this series. Despite all of the injuries, despite it, I think the Pacers are going to win this series.
I'm not confident in that at all. My goodness, Charles, you live dangerously.
Hey.
Yep.
You live dangerously, but I don't know. It could be Boston and Dallas. Could be Boston and Minnesota. I haven't given up on Minnesota yet. To me, they're capable of getting it done. It's just a matter. And boy, that timeout right before Luka hit that shot.
Yep. They
were saying they got the switch that they wanted, and you left Rudy Gobert out there on. No. That's not good. That's not good.
The lights might be too bright for Minnesota right now, Carlos. I mean, you got that veteran team, veteran coach, Anthony Edwards, 21 years old. It's a new experience for them. I think the Mavs I think it'll be 3-1 going to Minnesota, maybe 3-2. Mavs close it out. But Dallas is the seasoned team, the more experienced team, the veteran team. Minnesota's coming. But I think right now, this moment might be a little bit too big for them, even though Minnesota won 2 in Denver. They're going to have to win 2 in Dallas. I think that's a tougher challenge.
I think it's X's and O's. Throw out, the moment's too big for them. Hell, if you beat Denver, and I didn't think they were going to get it done, and they beat Denver, it's a matter of execution and dominating and put your blueprint on what you do. And defensively, that's a challenge. One of the best two combos in the NBA. Minnesota defensively got to get it done. And then Big Cat get down. And, this bothers me. And I know it's
Big
the way
Cat
that.
Is a kitten.
But Coach Pettaway, it's this whole thing. And I call it the European influence. You've got bigs that are only bigs in name, but they want to stay out on the perimeter.
Right.
As Bill Walton would say, Cat, get down in the box, man, and do the dirty work. I don't know. Basketball, it was better in the 90s. You know, just might as well eliminate the center position. Embiid is playing out on the perimeter, the most dominant player in the league. Joker, he's that European influence, and that's what you see. That's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, well, we gotta go.
It was better in the 70s and 80s, Carlos.
Yeah. Well, that could be an argument there. The 80s and the 90s, pretty good.
You knew Kareem was going to be on the block. You
Mm-hmm.
knew that. Yeah. You knew Wilt was going to be on the box. Flashing across the middle or what have you. You knew where your bigs, Wes Unseld, those guys, Willis Reed. You know where they were going to be. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. You know they weren't going to be drifting out on the three-point line and throwing up shots from the locker room and all that sort of thing. It's when basketball was truly basketball.
Well, in that case, there's still hope for my team, but they've gotten to the door, but they haven't kicked it in yet. Recently. And so when do you do that? And by the way, as we close this segment, Donovan Mitchell to the Lakers, to the Heat. The way the salary structure set up, he can make more money in Cleveland to stay there. So that's my take on that. Coach Pettaway?
Hey, yes, I'm going to have to leave, but I do want to say this one thing, Carlos. I know we're going to get on it next week. The new, with the NCAA selling that lawsuit, the antitrust lawsuit, that's going to bring big changes to mid-major colleges and the way they function athletically. That was a big decision, and making the small guys foot the bill. That's going to be a disaster for our athletic departments, and we can go more into it next week when you get ready for it. Okay?
Yeah, one of the commissioners of the smaller conferences said, basically, you're looking at 10% budget cut, and they're going to foot the majority of the bill in the lawsuit.
Right.
But some conference is going to come through smooth and clean, and you know who they are.
Now look, it's not
But,
a
yeah,
Power
we'll
5
get into
anymore. It's not Power 5 anymore. It's Power 4.5 because the Pac-12 is gone.
The haves and the have-nots.
That's not a power conference, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get into it more in detail next week. But
All righty.
Coach Pettaway, enjoy your weekend. Safe travels.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. Vincent Paige is in the lobby. Also, Richard Morgan Williams will join us as well. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Well, I guess we won't go to a break. With that being said, let's see if we can join with Vincent Paige, a recent Southern University recruit and football player. Like to kind of join in with those guys and talk to some of them to see the decision to join Southern University and colleges. And, you know, it's that time of year. Oh, somebody says, Carlos, you're showing your age in the chat room. Let's do this. Let's see if we can take a timeout this time. And when we come back, it'll be more of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Well, I guess not. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to the cell phone. If the Lakers hire J.J. Redick, I hope they lose every game. At least not make the playoffs ever. I'm not going to tell you who said that one, but no experience coaching, Charles, none whatsoever.
Yeah, it is you know, as a lifelong Laker fan, it frustrates me to see this happening. I mean, and then, you know, this whole Bronny dynamic. You know, in my opinion, if Bronny gets drafted by the Lakers in the second round, as most people expect, will this Laker team go from trying to win a championship to just being a photo op? Because LeBron has said, I want to play with my son, whether it's in the Laker uniform or wherever he goes. So if Bronny is drafted by the Lakers, and now you got a lot of pushback saying, you know, there's no guarantee Bronny's going to get drafted by the Lakers and all this other stuff. But let's just say he does. Is it now about championships or is it about photo op? Because LeBron wants to play with his son. There's going to be a lot of pictures. It's going to be, you know, the credentials and ticket sales going to be off the charts. Is it going to be about winning championships with Bronny James and LeBron, or is it about something else? So that's the other thing. LeBron wants to catch Jordan and win a couple more titles. Not happening with the way this thing is going right now. The West is loaded. You got to upgrade that roster. So I'm just, you know, I want to win championships. Yes, a heartfelt, you know, LeBron playing with his son. Yeah, that's good to see for about a month. And then I want to see, well, where are the Lakers in the Western Division pecking order. So that's kind of where I am with it. Let's get back to winning championships. LeBron and AD build around that roster. If your son can help you, fine. But is it more of a photo op or is it more of a championship opportunity? That's kind of what I'm looking at. If Bronny doesn't go with the Lakers, it's fine with me. I know that's what LeBron wants, but we'll see. I just don't want it to be a circus anymore, because that's what it'll be if Bronny James goes to the Lakers in the second round. It'll be a circus, and we won't be talking about the Lakers in the pecking order for the Western Division, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then in the tough Western Conference, it's going to be tough anyway. The championship days, I think they're far away for the Lakers. You know, teams getting older. You got to evaluate the team. You got to make changes. So I just don't see it. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll visit with Vincent Paige, Southern University football recruit. He'll join us next on the Carlos Brown Show. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KeversVoice.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Now going to be joined by Vincent Paige, Southern University football recruit. He joins us now. Vincent, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the Carlos Brown Show.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
We appreciate you giving us some time. Why did Southern University stand out for you in your recruitment and your decision to choose Southern University?
During like my JUCO days, past season, I was talking to Coach Graves when he was just the linebackers coach at the time. We built a relationship, and when it got kind of closer to like decision time, I felt like the communication kind of fell off, and I went a different route. And then when I hit the portal again, he reached out, and I knew that was somebody I always wanted to play for, and it was just like the perfect timing. Took it in.
Now, your position, coach, one of the coaches that was recruiting you as well, Chris Scott. Talk a little bit about him and your decision to join Southern University. Your thoughts on Coach Scott?
I feel like he could develop me the most to be able to play at the next level, and then also just him playing at Southern before and being like the career leading tackler there. I felt like that was the best person to develop me for the next level.
Now, the recruiting process, how hard was it for you and other colleges that recruited you? Who were some of those?
I was talking to like Arkansas Pine Bluff. I was talking to like Grambling, and then a few schools in like the WAC conference. And then like the recruiting process wasn't hard because I've been through it before. I knew what I was looking for. And like before, I always wanted to play for HBCU. So with Southern being like the first school to give me a chance, I just took advantage of that.
Now we do have, and hopefully we'll be able to show it some video from your Kilgore days in junior college. And by the way, another Quentin Butler has decided to commit to Southern University, also from the same football program. Your thoughts on just, of course, coming to Southern University, but the rivalries and, the pageantry of Southern University, and then your recruiting visit. How was that?
I mean, it was amazing. The weekend I went, they were having the conference track meet at Southern as well. So I got to see a little bit of that, and then just being around like some of the alumni and Hall of Famers, it was great.
Also, we had got a question earlier. How eligibility left? How many years you have left to play?
I have 2 years plus a red shirt if I need one.
That's interesting. Yeah, I appreciate that. Um, what would you consider your strengths as far as a football player?
I'm a vocal leader. I play the run well, and then also I can cover, which a lot of guys I feel like kind of struggle in the coverage, and I feel like that was one of my strong suits.
So you're a middle linebacker, or do you play all the other linebacker positions?
I played middle both of my JUCO years. During high school, I played a little bit of edge, so playing outside in and playing inside out, I've done both. So I can play both.
Coaches, if you can talk about this, a lot of times, sometimes you think you can come in and start right away. Is it some things that you believe that you have to work on to become a even better player?
Yes, definitely just like studying film, like learning your opponents, and also just learning like your teammates, what's their strong suits, how to communicate with them. I think that all play a factor into being one of the leaders on the team.
Visiting with Vincent Paige, middle linebacker, Southern University, signing. What about the rivalries? I mean, you look at it in the SWAC conference. I mean, I can give you who I would think is rival number one. Of course, Grambling State and Jackson State. But what do you look for as far as the rivalries in the conference?
I definitely look forward to playing like Perry View. I have a few teammates from Kilgore that went over there, so being able to play them for the first time, that's always exciting. And then also FAMU, that's a big game I'm looking forward to, playing the third spot.
That's interesting. FAMU, of course. Jackson State, of course, from a personal standpoint, that's a big rivalry. Jackson State.
I'm sorry, you repeat that for me? Kind of cut out.
What are your thoughts on playing Jackson State as far as a rivalry?
I think it'll be exciting. I always thought it was a good game. I saw my uncle he played at Texas Southern, and just when they played Jackson State, that was a big game for them. So just seeing like the crowds that get pulled out for those games, I feel like it's amazing.
Now I just noticed, and excuse me, are those wrestling belts behind
you? My dad's a big wrestling fan. We got probably like 10 or 11 belts up in here.
Wow.
Good one, Carlos. I was just getting ready to ask that question. Like, are you going out for the WWE, the
WWF? Well, they have a big program, but I thought that was very unique in the situation. Do you expect to come in and contribute right away? And I know it's a lot of pressure to ask someone, do you think you can start? But so that's why I put it, do you look to, or do you believe you'll contribute right away?
I definitely think so. I feel like I'm an older guy. I have a little bit of experience just playing with a lot of talent around me. And just coming in, I feel like I could be the top guy for sure.
That's interesting. Your junior college program, Kilgore, puts out a lot of talent. How important is it for someone who's considering going to JUCO to look at Kilgore? Because from what I've seen the last few years, they put out tremendous players.
Yes, they do that as well, and they also develop us as young men as well. I felt like that was the biggest thing I took away from there with Coach Gooden and Coach Thompson. They were able to develop me as a young man, just not on the field, just off the field, just how to carry myself as a black man, stuff like that. And I feel like that's something that Kilgore does that a lot of other JUCOs doesn't really focus on. They focus more on football and stuff like that. I think they focus on the person at first, and then everything else will fall in place.
Yeah, well, following you, Chris Garcia is scheduled to join us, and he's in California. So I know I'm going to ask him about the humidity and the weather change. But for you, I don't think that's going to be a big difference because you're in the state of Texas. But what as far as conditioning, getting ready for summer and fall camp, what are some of the things that that you're doing, because I saw a video of you working out with another young man as far as getting ready for the next level.
Yeah, I train with my personal trainer, Coach Carlos Meyer. Really well respected trainer up here in DFW as well, especially in the nation as well. And also, I got the like our May time frame workouts from our strength coach. So uh, I think with the combination of training and then also doing like conditioning, lifting, I think I'll be ready.
What is your message to the Jaguar Nation? What will they get in the student athlete Vincent Paige?
A loving, hardworking young man.
Quick and simple to the point. Well, I thought we were going to be able to pull up your video, but
I
you're
have a
going to.
question, Carlos.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, just talk about the Jaguar Nation fan base. I mean, I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. You know, the passion, the fan base. Just talk about that and how all of that kind of helped in your decision. Just the passion from the fans and just knowing what you know about Southern University.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard that it gets crazy. Like I've seen like videos, and then I watched like the Bayou Classic last year, and how they travel pretty well. So just having that like that crowd behind you, it definitely elevates like people's play. So I think that plays a factor a lot with making decisions on where to play at.
Yeah, and the band performance, just the atmosphere. It's exciting, and to your point. I remember in 1993, a long time ago, Southern University and Jackson State played, and I was just shocked. At least 15 to 20,000 Southern fans were on the road. It was a great atmosphere, and so that's why I brought up Jackson State. That is a tremendous, tremendous atmosphere, and I think you're going to enjoy the game day atmosphere at Southern University, Vincent. I really do. Appreciate the time coming on the show. I think you're going to be a big hit for Southern University, and we appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you becoming a member of the Jaguar Nation, and we look forward to seeing you very soon, because the season will be here before you know it.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
All right, thank you. Vincent Paige, middle linebacker, Southern University, Kilgore Junior College, now a member of the Southern University football program, and I look forward to seeing them play. But have a great weekend, Vincent.
Y'all too as well.
All righty. Vincent Paige. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, it'll be more of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We shall return. Well, I guess not. Guess not a timeout. Well, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, we were talking with Vincent Paige, middle linebacker, signee for Southern University. Wheeler, I guess you could remember coming in your first year at North Carolina A&T as a freshman. In his case, he's going to be a JUCO, but it's just an opportunity. You got a lot of things going on in your mind, excitement, making another move into life.
It's exciting. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. And, you want to be prepared as much as possible. You want to be ready for the physicalness that's ahead. And, we all know time management is the most important aspect of, what we go through in terms of young folk coming in the door, and, but the young man appears to be, ready for the challenge, and having been to a JUCO, like that, he's been through some of those things already. So he's got a leg up on the process. Hopefully he keeps his eyes on the prize in terms of, getting that degree in a couple of years, and, maybe going to grad school or, something like that. Hopefully he maximizes the entire experience. And so, a lot of the little hiccups and things of that nature, he probably won't go through. He's probably already been through, having been at the JUCO for a couple of years, that sort of thing. And so, it's an exciting time for him, but it's a new environment for him. He's got to go in there and pretty much reestablish himself all over again. And you got to be excited about that. I'm excited for him. He seems like he's ready for the challenge.
Well, and if you can just Google his huddle, and you will be impressed at what he's accomplished so far on the JUCO level. And I was looking in the chat room, and they're agreeing. You have a leg up. You have a leg up on the competition when you come from the JUCO and see the footage there. Now watch this play. He's number one. Agile, very athletic. Got the pick off right there. So, Charles, we'll just look at it. I think the video explains it all. There's another interception by him.
Yeah. And it's always, we're in a different recruiting time now, Carlos, in terms of just recruiting, period. You hear this at every level, that coaches want experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have experience, whether it's a JUCO level or previous experience at another institution, that always helps. Because the days of, and I hate to say it, is, freshmen or seniors coming out of high school trying to get these opportunities, that's going to be a challenge now with this climate that we're in. So when you have someone with experience, and the highlights, kind of bear this out, he's got plenty of experience, a lot of positive plays, good mannerism, good demeanor. And I think, all that spells could be a pretty good football player for Southern University. So it's, I think this is where we're going to be looking at the JUCO level. Some of the top JUCO programs in this country, some of our coaches, Hutchinson, Kansas, and other places that have really good JUCO players. Our coaches are all over that, and I'm sure other conference coaches are as well. So this looks like a gym. Bring him into the next level. The speed is different, but I think he's teachable and coachable based on what we've talked to him about, and I think that will help Southern University.
Look at that. I think of him as a field general. He's playing in the middle. I mean, athletic, gets there with a bad attitude. I'll say it. I think he starts. Just my opinion. But a very good pickup, and they also got one of his teammates that just committed at defensive tackle. So Wheeler, he has a nose for the football. He really does. And I like his speed, and in coverage, he's pretty good against the run. He's pretty good in the coverage. And, a linebacker, that's a tough position. They have to support the run. They have to help out in pass coverage. But Southern's got a gym.
But you still got to understand, you're taking that step to the next level now.
Mm-hmm.
So the JUCO level is not as intense as the level he's getting ready to go to right now, and so he's got to be mentally ready to take that next step. So not downgrading anything he did on the JUCO level or anything like that, but I would say you ain't in Kansas no more, Toto. You're up here with the big boys now. You're taking that next step. So, but I believe, like you said, he looks like he's ready for the challenge. So it looks like it's going to be exciting.
Well, Dorothy clicked her heels, and she was back home in Kansas. I think he clicks his heels, and he's ready. He's ready for the challenge. On that note, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll visit with Chris Garcia. We'll also Richard Morgan Williams, and he's been pestering about. I told you about Jackson State. So we'll switch back to some SWAC baseball tournament action. He's going to come on and talk about. I told you, Carlos, Jackson State. Jackson State.
He sure did.
Yeah. But we'll take a timeout. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We're going to be joined by Chris Garcia, also Richard Morgan Williams. That's Richard. Mr. Williams, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Told you so.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Get it out there. Told you so.
You did, and hold that point because we're going to come back to you. But Chris Garcia also joins us, Southern University signee offensive lineman. Chris, all the way from the great state of California. Chris, good morning for you. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing pretty well. Thank you guys for having me. How y'all doing?
Well, we're doing fine. Chris, guess what? It's going to be 96 degrees here today in Baton Rouge, and humidity. But
yeah, I think today is probably going to be about 70, and it's gloomy right now. So it's nice.
My. Well, Chris, I'll just tell you this: get used to the humidity in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But I have confidence that you can get it done. Talk about your recruitment, and I also talked with your position coach in JUCO, and he had a lot of great things to say about you. But your recruitment for Southern University, how did that come about?
Yeah, so my recruitment started pretty late after the season. I got my first offer about week 5 of my sophomore season, and it was kind of slow in the beginning, and then one day former Southern coach, Coach Dre, actually texted me and told me he wanted to, give me a opportunity to play at the Division I level, which is something I've been chasing since I was 5 years old. So I've always been, forever grateful for the opportunity. But I mean, other than that, other than Southern University, I really only had like a couple D2 offers, and then once I got the Southern offer, it kind of picked up a little bit, but Southern just showed so much love, and I built a good connection with the coaches, so I just felt like it was the right place for me to continue my football career.
Now, your coach told me in JUCO that you are a guy that paid attention to details, a hard worker. You would commute. I think you said like 45 minutes to make practice and for his training and stuff.
Yeah.
And you were a guy that could be counted on and a dedication. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I currently live in Pasadena, California, which is I don't know if you're familiar with the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I live about 20 minutes from the Rose Bowl, and the school where I attend, Golden West College, is in Huntington Beach. So on a good day, it's about 45 minutes. On a bad day, it's about an hour 20.
Wow.
So yeah, so we had practices at 7 a.m. So I was up at 4 a.m., leaving at 5 to get there by 6, and just warming up at like 6:30 for 7 a.m. practice. And then if we had a 6 a.m. lift, I was getting up even earlier to get there, a little early to go ahead and warm up for that. But yeah, in the beginning, it was horrible, man. I hated it, but this past season, I actually kind of fell in love with the drive and stuff, because I knew eventually it was going to pay off, and it did. So I'm kind of grateful that I was able to be put in that position to have to go through making that drive every single day, 6 days a week, because it taught me that to just you just got to get through it. So yeah,
a big guy, Chris, is according to what I was able to research, 6'3", 315. Your coach said that you played several positions, center, inside, tackle, but thought that if you could just concentrate on one position, and that's inside, that will be the best for you. As we see your highlights, you love the physical contact.
Yeah. I definitely love to hit. I'm a big hitter. I think one thing I could definitely work on is like not hitting with my head, but yeah, if I'm coming off the ball, I'm trying to go go hit somebody, go find some contact. I think that's definitely one of the strongest parts of my game.
Your recruiting visit, How was that? Again, because not to put emphasis on the demographics, but coming
Mm.
from the West Coast
Yeah.
to the South, were you pleasantly surprised, shocked about anything? But how was the visit?
So it's actually kind of funny because flying to Louisiana was my first time ever being like on an airplane. So um
Oh boy.
yeah. So thankfully I had my teammate with me who flies all the time. So having him there, going on the visit with me definitely made it a little easier. I think the biggest thing was like just definitely the jet lag, the time change was a lot different on me. Culture wise, I don't want to say it was a big shock because I don't know if my position coach told you, but he actually went to Southern University out of Golden West College.
He did tell
So,
me.
so
Yeah.
when I got that offer, he was actually putting, telling me how it is out there. Just the culture of of the South. And when I went over there, like kind of confirmed it, like like confirmed the Southern hospitality. Everyone was super nice over there. So I think that definitely helped in me committing there for sure.
Yeah. Well, Charles, his coach played under Tennis Berry. And then Chennis Berry, one of your favorite coaches of all time, and Willie, you know this guy too, Dawson
Yes,
Owens.
definitely.
Yeah, I did see that. And Chris,
Yeah.
what about from the cultural difference? Food.
Oh man,
Oh,
the food,
I
all
know
the
that
food
would
was
hit.
good, man. We I'm as a big man myself, I eat a lot, but I like what I like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
but I went over there with the mentality like, you know what, like I'm in a new environment, new state. I gotta try everything. So I tried like candied yams for the first time. Man, those are amazing. Tried some,
Oh,
I believe the way to pronounce it is like crawfish etouffee, if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken. That was amazing. Some fried catfish was crazy. Some good gumbo, red beans and rice. I tried all of it, man. I was getting a little
Oh,
bit of everything.
oh my goodness. Oh, Charles, your mouth is watering. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love to hear that part because one of the good things about the differences in culture, the food, that's one of the things.
yeah.
Um, on the field, what would you like to accomplish now that you're moving on to the next level from JUCO to now Division One football?
Um, Things I want to accomplish, man, is well, first I just want to get the opportunity to compete, which is something that Coach Nivens did tell me he was going to give me the chance to do, which I'm thankful for, and then just fight for the starting spot and kind of just show that I'm not really about the talking. I'm gonna just get on the field and let my plan do my talking for me, and I kind of just want to earn my place on the team and earn the respect of the other guys and the coaches as well.
Quickly, Wheeler, you're a former offensive lineman. Give Chris some words of knowledge.
Well, I would say, Chris, the first thing is you want to make sure that you're in tip-top condition.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and make sure you're hitting the weight strong, that sort of thing. And my thing, being a former offensive lineman is motor, MOTOR.
Yes, sir.
And staying on your block until the whistle blows, that sort of thing. That's how you endear yourself, not only to the coaches but to your teammates as well.
Yes, sir.
And make sure that you work on being an excellent teammate.
Yes, sir.
Helping your running backs up off the ground, and that sort of thing. Always being there to protect them. If somebody's getting in their face, that sort of thing. You want to make sure that they know that you have their back all the time.
Yes,
And
sir.
I think everything else will work out for itself. But I like your highlights. I like the way you go after that contact, that sort of thing. And I will say this also: ain't nothing wrong with putting your face in there every now and then.
Yeah.
That was always a big thing with me.
Yeah.
Some things you just can't avoid.
Yeah, exactly.
So ain't nothing wrong with sticking that face mask up in there and getting folk up out of there. But best of
Yeah.
luck to you. And
Thank you.
get it done in the classroom. Make sure you get
Sure.
that degree. That's what you're coming here for.
Yes, sir.
And everything else will take care of itself.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the words and the advice.
You're welcome.
Well said. Well, Chris, we appreciate the time and Pacific Standard Time for you.
Yes, sir.
But we wish the best for you.
Thank you.
As Willa said, come in and work hard and be part of the Jaguar Nation. Last quick thing.
What's up?
As far as rivalries, have you talked to your teammates or talked to the coaches, or
Yeah.
what do you know about some of the rivalries and the atmosphere of Southern football?
All I heard over there, man, was Bayou Classic, New Orleans Saints Stadium, and how many people come to the games every single game. Because I was telling everybody over there, just a quick background. I come from a really small high school in California. Max people I ever played in front of was like 300 people in high school, and then JUCO, the most I ever played in front of was like 1,500 people. So when they was telling me, 30,000 people be coming to every single game, I'm like, oh damn, that's kind of crazy, man. But I know that environment and that that just the environment I know will bring the best out of everybody, and just the energy will be insane every Saturday. So I'm definitely excited to step on the field on Saturdays, because just from them telling me that, and I could see in all the videos I've been watching and stuff. So yeah.
70,000 Bayou Classic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Could be 60,000 plus when they play Jackson State.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get Coach Graves to let me run the team out for that game, but that could be disastrous. You got Alcorn coming in.
Yeah,
you go on the road trip, and I will say this and let you go. You'll see that the Jaguar Nation travels very well. So it's on the way. Road games are like a home game. So
I know you're not lying, because when I committed, man, I had people like DMing me, commenting on my Twitter and stuff, and just showing love. So I know the Jag Nation, travels well, and like I said, I'm excited to be in that environment and see what the energy is like, and I know it'll bring the best out of me for sure.
Well, appreciate you joining us.
Sure.
Best of luck, and look forward to seeing you in action and getting to meet you in person for the football season. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and tell your family hello and God bless.
Yes, sir. God bless to all you guys and your families. Thank you guys for having me. I hope y'all have a blessed weekend.
All right. Thank you. That was Chris Garcia. Richard Williams, Jackson State. We're going to switch quickly. We're not going to take a timeout. We're going to just go to the end of the show. But don't brag too much, Richard, about Jackson State, because they still have to get it done. But you were right to look out for Jackson State. So far, they're still in there.
Not just them. I told you about Grambling also. I know there was a lot of questions about them and their pitching. I said sometimes if you got to use your bats to get past the deficiency of arms. And I told you Grambling had one of the most dynamic offenses in the nation, and they are showing it right now. They have a tough way to go. I know they have to finish up with Florida A&M, which is probably going to be their hardest challenge. But of the teams that we talked about 2 weeks ago, you still have Florida A&M, you have Grambling, Jackson State, and Bethune-Cookman. So that's pretty much how the way I thought it would go. My number 5 was Alabama State. And they did take out Southern, if I'm correct. But
they took them out.
But had a tough draw against Grambling, but good season for them. And again, that's as much as I'm going to give to Alabama State. But these last 4 is definitely going to be a good series. And I do want to point out, I have some friends who went to Texas Southern, and I told them this, that I felt like that side of the bracket might be a little weaker, and I do not think Texas Southern equated themselves well in this tournament, which is kind of disappointing in that, but maybe it might have been a little more true than even I gave myself credit for. So you see who's left in the tournament. We have Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, so the East. And
well, it sets up Richard and Charles. We talked about it earlier in the show. Pitching arms versus hot bats. Hot bats, Jackson State and Grambling State. You're a baseball guy. I've always been told good arms and good pitching can defeat hitting. Is that going to be the case in the Final Four? The Final Four teams?
Man, I still got a soft spot for Grambling. Yes, good pitching does take you, but I like to see the team that likes to get out there and swing the bat too. So, like I compared them to the Philadelphia Phillies of the last couple of years, with Bryce Harper and those guys getting to the World Series, playing beer league baseball. Essentially, I can appreciate that also at times too, but it's gonna be tough trying to get rid of FAMU with those arms, and same with Bethune-Cookman. You know what they're gonna bring.
Well,
Grambling, Carlos, the reason why Grambling is still alive is because of their bats. Grambling is a team that I saw them in the Cactus Jack muscle up. We've seen them in the SWAC tournament muscle up, and even in some games against Southern muscle up. And that home run that they hit to keep their season alive, they came back from 6-0 down. You've got to be careful how you pitch around, and that lineup is stacked 1 through 7. So, good pitching versus good hitting. Grambling, they've got enough pitching, but the bats are the reason why they're here. The question, though, for me at this point, because it's kind of unusual with these Saturday games and with the late start and everything, which teams have enough arms in the tank ready to go? I mean, I still think it's FAMU and Bethune-Cookman 1-2. And the question is, with this delay and everything, and with the way Grambling's been swinging a hot bat of late, which team will win that tussle there?
I've got to go with the arms. I mean, but I could be wrong, and it may be proven that I am wrong. And I understand the hot bats, Jackson State and Grambling, but I still think the arms, and in some cases, Charles, do you believe in Richard? You're at a point now in the season, in the tournament, that you may have to piecemeal. It may have to be pitching by committee for Jackson and Grambling more so than Bethune and FAMU. Am I wrong on that?
No,
I agree with you. It's all hands on deck, especially when it's elimination time. So, still, when you have, if your lineup, like you said, is tough 1 through 7, that also taxes the other team's pitching staff. So there's not going to be any quick, easy at bats. The pitch count start adding up, and then you're going to get to those bullpens. So I mean, it's as much as I love great pitching, if you can send out 1 through 7, 1 through 8 of kids that can roll the pole, then that's still a part of the game, right? That's my favorite part of baseball. So if you can hit, we'll find somewhere to put you on the field. That's what I was taught too.
Yeah. Well, Richard, we'll get your predictions. We got Wheelers and Charles. Who do you have winning the 2024 SWAC baseball tournament? Put you on the spot, Richard.
Oh. Finals, I'm gonna go Bethune-Cookman. I'm gonna stick with them. I'm gonna say Bethune-Cookman against Grambling, and I got Bethune winning.
Whoa! Oh, I got Bethune winning as well. Oh, that's shocking. And this wasn't rehearsed, folks. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it's the opposite. FAMU, the defending champions, they're going to be tough. Grambling State again.
Grambling keep swinging the bat. Grambling keep swinging the bat.
It goes back to hot hitting versus arms pitching.
Yeah. Well, our coach talked about is, we've struggled with pitching, but in a game like this, and Richard knows this, there's a name called Johnny Whole Staff. Mm-hmm. That means the whole staff is available. And for each one of those 4 teams that's still alive, the whole staff is available. Because if you win, you play tomorrow, and you can. It's about piecemealing it at this point. Now, there are some teams that have used less arms than others, but at this point, to keep your season alive, to get to this point, if you got a guy that can throw to one batter, go lefty righty, if you win, you get to tomorrow and you figure it out tomorrow. But everybody is available to stay alive today. And with this weather delay, that's going to help. And especially if you're playing that second game, I don't know who plays second, but with the late starts and everything, you can piece it together and get guys rest. But the whole staff's available when you're in these type of games because you're trying to stay alive and try to keep your season alive.
With that being said, guys, let's go. AD Drew is back live from Atlanta for a closing update, and he'll join us in a second. And while we're waiting on AD to come back in, there was an article, and I think you sent it to me, Charles, at UAPB. The resources there with baseball, and Coach James is expected to make gold out of straw. He's Rumpelstiltskins, you remember that? But a tough situation. And Richard, I said this, and I know you're going to say there are other conferences and programs that have the same problem, but I just think it's going to be tough. Whoever the winner is coming out, going into the regional, you're going to have quality and quantity as far as pitching in the regionals.
Oh no, no matter who comes out of this tournament, yes, that's going to be the battle for them. What do we have left? You would hate to say you're going to use up, sacrifice the battle to win the war, but there is more baseball to be played, but you can't get there unless you win this tournament. So that, what else can you do? There's no extra automatic bids for lower division baseball or SWAC or NEAC or anything like that. So if you want to play, you got to get there. You got to perform. So that's where your second guy becomes even more important. Your third guy, you're gonna have to use them. Like I said, you're gonna have to depend on your whole staff, not just your one ace to get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
The other thing, Carlos, to me is that
you can't save anybody. That's for sure. Ain't no
right.
Yeah. You roll and got the dice in
that's
your
absolutely right. And the other part about it is whoever we're playing in the regionals, that team knows that they're already in the NCAA tournament. I was looking at the SEC tournament the other day. I saw they had a little poster. I think 11 of the 14 teams in the SEC are ranked in the top 15 in the country. So you imagine a lot of those SEC teams are going to be hosting regionals. They already know they're in. And so that, of course they want to win an SEC championship, but they already know they're in the tournament. They already know they're going to probably host. We don't. We have no idea. And someone's got to win this tournament. There's no at-large bid. We've had this conversation before. So you're putting it all out there right now this weekend. Come Sunday or Monday, they're going to announce the bids, and then you got to get on a bus and go wherever you need to go, and you got to suck it up and get ready to go because you don't know if you're going to get there. And once you do, come Sunday at whatever time, you got to get ready to go. And I think that makes it tough for us because we don't know where we're going. We know we're going somewhere, but we just finished playing, and the tension of trying to just get it figured out. So I think that's the other part that makes it so tough for us is we're battling to get in where these teams that we're playing, whatever regional, LSU, Mississippi State, they know they're already in. And it's just a matter of them just trying to put it together.
Well, the last few years, they've been kind of putting you geographically kind of close to cut down on traveling. Not to say it will happen this year, but let's say if Bethune or FAMU wins it, they're probably going to be in Florida. Yeah, so they won't have to travel that far. If it's Grambling or Jackson State, kind of the same thing. I think geographically they're going to try to keep them close, but you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. I'm trying to see if we're going to have AD, but probably not because we're about 2 minutes. Oh, there we go. We got like 2 minutes, AD.
Give y'all a quick update. We are in the top of the fifth inning. Jackson State, no runs on 6 hits and no errors. Bethune, no runs on 2 hits and no errors. Jackson State is batting, has a man on first base. Been pretty much a pitcher's duel today, which is kind of unexpected in an if game. Usually these are the games where you see 14 to 11 type games because you think teams are out of pitching. But to everyone's surprise, right here, we have had a pitching duel thus far. Nobody's been able to string together a series of hits to be able to manufacture
a run. As a matter of fact, I think there's only been one, maybe two runners even have made it into scoring position in this game thus far. And I don't know if you guys can see this white building here behind me, but if you've been watching, there have been many home runs hit down the left field line off of this building. This is the indoor football facility here at Georgia Tech. And this is where we've seen some home runs hit top, bottom, all around this building right here.
Well, it seems like pitching so far
thus far
has been the rule.
Jackson State has 2 on with 2 outs right now here in the top of the 5th inning. And Lady Montesano is up to bat. So I'll see if they score before we get off.
Come on, BCU, get that third out. Sometimes
that was deep. Y'all might get out of here, y'all. And it is over the 350 mark. Jackson State takes the lead, 3-0, everybody.
Wow, what time?
Cut Richard's mic. Cut his camera.
Opposite field, everybody.
Oh, well, I think our predictions might looking a little bleak right now.
Still a lot of baseball left. A lot of baseball
left. You're right. You're right.
Told y'all about messing with Omar.
Oh,
Omar coming, as I say in a while. Omar coming.
On that note, we're out of time. We appreciate all of our guests: Vincent Paige, Chris Garcia, Charles Edmond, Coach Vann Pettaway, Willa Brown, and Richard Morgan Williams. Want to thank Melody, our producer. Everyone in the chat room, continue the conversation until next Saturday at 11 a.m. for another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Until that time, peace and God bless.